Hey, you. It's a blind life. Everyone, and welcome back to the It's a Blind Life podcast. My name is Aria.
And I'm Belle.
And we are two legally blind sisters who just wanted to make this podcast in order to talk about our lives. This is a variety show, so to say. We just talk about whatever we feel like talking about, and that's all there really is to it. And today, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be talking about how we do makeup. So, of course, we are both female. We have, of course, wanted to kind of not stand out in a weird way of like not following certain like beauty norms, if that makes sense. Like, in other words, a lot of times...
I think more what you're trying to go for. Even though we're blind and we can't see what we look like, we're still held by the same beauty standards of everybody else in society. Therefore, makeup.
Yes, exactly. That's a much better way to put it than what I did.
I got you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep, I try.
And so, of course, when I was young, I started kind of learning how to do makeup on my own. I guess let's kind of change it up. How did you learn how to do it?
I'm trying to think on how I learned. Because, okay, so for me, it was a lot of makeup was only for dance recitals.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, it was very little. And then I got to middle school,
mm-hmm.
because puberty.
Right.
And it's a lot better now, but I used to have severe acne. Really bad. And so I was held back because I was too small to start kindergarten, like with the rest of my my technical age group due to like when I was born. So because my body couldn't handle a full day of not having a nap, I was held back. No big deal. Whatever. It worked out. Anyway, so because of that, and I already had my vision issue, our mom was pretty much just like, yeah, you need to learn how to do some makeup. And by this time, Aria was already away at college. You were using, I forget what was the name of the makeup you were using at the time?
Oh, goodness. I don't know, because I've gone through so many different brands.
It was the powder one. It was all powder.
Oh, Bare Minerals.
That, yes. We were using that. So, like, that's what I started with. And I was told, here's this, just put it on your face.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of had an idea of how to do mascara from dance, and then blush also from dance. So like there were those things that I'm like, okay, I know kind of how to do that in a way. It was a struggle because I couldn't tell, like I couldn't feel it on. So like I didn't know if I had things working properly and I didn't look like an idiot. Whole process. So I used that for a bit. And then in high school, well, I eventually got put on medication that helped my acne issue.
Yeah.
For the most part. But after that, I was in high school, and I think that's when I really just started using like liquid such. I'm going to start with everyday life, and then I'm going to go into like how I did dance stuff, because that changed. And then once in high school, we went to liquid, I believe. For some reason, we went to liquid, which was fine. It worked. I would put on liquid foundation. I'd have a general idea of where to put cover up and blush. Again, I knew how to do a mascara, and that was it. And then that changed come high school, or not high school, college. Yeah, college, I got into really not caring very quickly. College was tinted moisturizer is my best friend. I am too lazy to deal with this crap. So I did tinted moisturizer, And then I just do cover up and mascara. And I was like, this is fine. Some days if I like had a long day out, I do blush because I am extremely pale. So if I don't have blush normally, I look sick.
Mm-hmm.
So some days if I had a long day of class, I do blush. If it was I only have to leave for one class and then that's it. I'm like, I am not doing that. I'm not wasting my time for that. You can think I'm sick for a total of 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Not even 50 minutes. So I did that. If there was like a presentation I had to do or something, I did do makeup. I did have on school. I did have like good foundation and all that. So yeah, I still technically am held to the same professional women beauty standards. It's dumb. And now I'm even lazier. Law school has updated my laziness. We are also down in the South. It gets hot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hot when you have to walk a mile to school carrying a book bag that weighs like 50 pounds.
Yeah.
You're gonna sweat. Like, it sounds gross. Like, sorry, yeah, it's gross. However, like, life. It's something that happens. So, like, I started law school with, like, tinted moisturizer. And then I'd get to school and it'd just be all sweated off. And I was just like, moisturizer!
Yeah.
With sunscreen. And now a part of my vision has gotten worse. So I used to do mascara to block out more excess light from getting into my eyes. Now, however, my vision has gotten worse, so I have to wear glasses with my contacts. So I can't do mascara. Again, I've had nothing fancy to do. So I do have makeup for those occasions. Like for first orientation week, I did my makeup every morning. However, I was driven to campus. Our apartment wasn't ready yet. So in that respect, I will do makeup I did do some makeup for like an career advisor meeting. I honestly didn't even have to do that. I literally walked in, I was just nice and everything, and I legit look over. Some kid's waiting for another meeting with another career advisor. He's in sweatpants and like a ratted t-shirt, and I was just like, well, I'm here in my black professional dress with a red blazer. Love this.
Yeah.
But yeah, liquid I think is the best way, and then you just feel it out.
Yeah, so
I've gotten better with feeling it with brushes now, though,
Yeah.
I will admit, which is a lot healthier for my skin because of my past acne issues.
Yeah, now because you were the one who did your dance makeup.
I did.
How'd you do that yet?
How did I do that? Honestly, good gravy. Labels, lots of labels. I will preface that. I did competition for dance. Yeah, that was a time. And of course, during my time on competition team, you had to do your own makeup. Some people were some moms would, like, with the youngers, if you really couldn't do it, you did it yourself. Like, you had somebody there to do it. Some girls, it was their moms did it. Pretty much for us older girls, I think all but one didn't do her own makeup, but we all did ours, and it was just easier. For me, I did my makeup while Ari would do my hair. It just worked, especially because I got really good at doing it without a mirror. Very quickly. I got very lucky, though, on being able to do it without a mirror. So before our first competition, we do like a little showcase for the parents. So the parents would know the dances. So that way, they wouldn't force like the kids to stay. Like, we could all see each other in like each other's dances. So it was nobody has to stay at the convention center hall, wherever the frick we were. Mm-hmm. So, that. And then if you liked the dance and you wanted to stay, you could stay. If not, go home, go to your hotel, sleep. It really didn't matter. But then before that, like before the little in-house showcase, before first comp, we were sat down that Saturday, Friday night, who knows at this point, and we were taught how to do the makeup. It was the same every year, so once you did it first, you were just, I'm helping the newbies, or like they'd have us older girls sit there and do it, and then the mothers of the new little ones would watch, like that type of thing. Everything stayed the same for us, which was lovely. The only thing that changed one year was lipstick, and I'll get into that drama in a second. But it was very similar. I don't remember the exact colors off the top of my head, but we had to do like a smoky eye. I know there was white in the smoky eye. I know there was another color and another color. I just remember there was white, medium, and dark. I was very lucky on one of the like heads of competition team helped me my first year in teaching me how to do it, because I was very confused and very lost, and our mother was very confused and very lost, and there was no hope for Arya. And so she like sat down and like she helped me figure it out. And the best way she did it for me is she's like, okay, this goes all over your eyelid. Like white went all over my eyelid. And the lovely thing about competition makeup, you could be as messy as you wanted. And it didn't matter because you're on a stage. And the more opaque and darker like everything is, the better. Lovely. Worked out great. It didn't really matter as long as I had those colors in that sequence on my eyeball. Mm-hmm. And then in like a C motion on my eyelid, in a bigger like C shape would go the medium color, and then on the outside corner of my eye in a smaller C would go the dark. And that helped me to understand like, okay, this is the feeling I'm to feel when I'm putting it on. And then false lashes, that was a fun time all around. I honestly cannot tell you how I did that.
Yeah.
That took a while.
Yeah, you learned though.
I learned, it took a hot minute to learn. Those things suck.
They do.
They absolutely suck, especially when you're dancing and like we learned you're to cut them to your eye. Guess who never cut them to her eyeball? That's too much work. I don't have time or patience for that. We'd get like sets, and it would be like one set per competition and then per recital. And so it would be like, okay, it's just going on my eye. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable it is. It's fine. And that's what I did. Like, it just stuck on. Eyeliner, that was easy. I just traced the false lash. Mm-hmm. Until we learned that I could just get black glue.
Oh, yeah.
My last year, we got black glue. That was amazing. That was a cheating way of doing everything. And then lipstick, that became the death of me again my last year. We did a big group number, and we had to do red lipstick. Like, we had like a reddish pink for normal, like everything else. But then the dance, we had like tuxedo-like costumes, and we had red gloves. So, like, we had to have bright red lipstick. I remember that. That sucked. Because then you had to change it, and sometimes you had very little time to change it, and you just kind of went with it.
Yeah.
So labels were very nice for that.
Yeah. That was your first year.
Was that my first year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was my first year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my first year. And then because my second year was the black eyeshadow.
The black. Oh, okay. So that year,
was a mess.
That year, the one dance was like a big dance number with
it was a production
all of
number.
The team. Like the entire team was part of this.
The entire studio competition team.
Yeah. And so the one part of the dance that Belle was in is that they were like monsters, essentially.
Yeah, our theme was a slumber party. So all the little girls on the team, they were doing a slumber party.
Yeah. And then the older girls,
we became like, the one was, they were to watch a movie. Yeah. And like, so the older girls were split in half. So half of the older girls were the TV people. Mm-hmm. And then I was the second half, which was, I was a raven. They found a spoken word piece of somebody reading off the raven. It was cool.
Yeah.
And then underneath, like, all the older girls' costumes. So, like, for the Raven, I literally had just, like, a cape, cloak, trench thing. Really dumb. With a hood.
It was just like a cloak, essentially.
Yeah, it was like a poncho, pretty much. And that went on for me. The other girls had, like, fancier costumes, but they had more time to change. For us Raven girls, we had to just quickly shove that thing off as quick as we could. And then, like, the monster song was started.
Yeah. And so the one time we went like, because I think that was like the only
That was the
number
last number for
that
the older
day.
girls.
Yeah, it was like the only number. So they were like, we want you to go all out for the monsters.
Also, to preface this, they wanted us from the beginning of we needed to look scary-ish, kind of. So they had us get like black blush. And that was to go over like our normal blush, and we'd have to wipe it off if we had another dance or whatever.
Yeah. To like really accentuate, like, it was more kind of like contouring.
Oh, yeah. For like especially for me.
Yeah.
We have very high cheekbones from our family. So like I looked like a skeleton.
Yeah.
That wasn't what my monster was, but I sure looked it.
Yeah. And so that one specific competition,
It was that last competition and then the recital.
Yeah, they were like, we want you to go all out. Like, we want you to use like your makeup to write like words across.
Well,
like,
so like
something
for the
that's
movie
scary.
girls, it was because a lot of us older girls had like open stomach costumes or like open back, something like that. So the movie girls, because like most of their arms and stuff were showing, it was on the parts that won't show in your movie costume. I want you to write words of things people fear. You are to embody people's fears is what they were to be. So like one girl wrote like public speaking. I forget what all else. Like they went ham with eyeliner, just writing words on
all
their
over
bodies. It was really cool. But for us Raven girls, it was go ham with the black blush. So like,
yeah. So essentially,
you had fun with that.
I had a blast because what I did was I covered like one of my hands in this black powder, essentially this black blush or powder. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I don't either. It was a powderish thing.
It was something
from the dollar store.
And I covered my hand in it, and I just put handprints like all over Belle's like shoulders.
Yeah, she put like one
stomach.
on my shoulder. She did one on my hand, one like on my shoulder, and then for other places we took her fingers and we just dragged them like across my collarbone, like scratch marks.
Across
just like
my
midriff.
Something was like grabbing Belle and like pulling her back, or like you could see where something had grabbed her. I had a blast.
We did the same thing for the ending for our recital. Like we pretty much did the same thing because you were out off stage already having your hand done, and I just stripped out of my last costume, put the other on while you're just marking my body.
Yeah, where I'm just putting on these black handprints all over your body. And honestly, out of all the like, okay, I'm biased, but I thought it looked so cool when all was said and done.
Yeah.
Like, it looked sick because it was just these black handprints just like on your shoulder. I know I did like on your stomach.
Well, you did claw marks on my stomach.
No, I know I did a handprint
once.
I know I did a handprint at one point in time because I remember that one because it was such a good handprint, and I was just like, that was an amazing handprint. Yeah, but we went.
I remember the one time we like contoured my ribs that were showing.
Yeah,
we contoured my rib cage. That like. It was actually horrible to get all of that off.
Oh, yeah. You had a time.
It was a time. That was like 4 showers.
Yeah.
It was bad. But it was very cool.
Yeah.
But it's not something I will willingly do again.
Yeah.
It's not something I like to willingly do again. Heck, even for like special occasions, like for prom, I said to my mom, you do it.
Yeah.
You do eyeshadow. I'll do liner, mascara. I will do all of that. I do not want to touch eyeshadow.
Yeah.
I still do not want to touch eyeshadow.
Yeah. So that is kind of Belle's sum up of makeup and what she does. As for me, like I said earlier, I've been through a lot of different iterations of makeup. I know when I was in like late elementary school, there was a lady who came to the house, which I talked about it before, who taught us certain like life skill things. And one of those was like teaching me how to do makeup. And so she kind of started teaching me the basics of like how to do it. I then kind of had to learn more on my own. And from doing dance and musical theater and like all the other stuff that I had done, you know, I had to get kind of okay with doing makeup on my own. You know, like I said, I've done a bunch of different brands. I've gone through the whole gambit of them.
Yeah, because we started like the natural ones, and then we went to dollar store because we were like, we're done with this. And then we went to better things because we're very pale.
Yeah. And like at one point in time, like I had red contacts because they helped me with seeing color. So like there was a time when like wearing like green eyeliner was like something that I did. It just kind of depended, but like honestly, my makeup routine now is very simple when I do wear it. It's just normally like foundation, mascara, and lipstick. And that's pretty much it, because lipstick is my favorite out of all the makeups. I really like wearing like bolder lipsticks, fun colors, that kind of thing.
We're also different in the makeup sense of you like a bit heavier makeup.
Yeah, I'm used
compared to me.
I'm used to more heavier coverage of makeup, I would say, than you are.
I think it's because I had to do such heavy for pretty much everything else.
Yeah, whereas, well, like, but see, for me, I got used to it, but I feel like when I do makeup now, like, yeah, it's probably, like, heavier coverage, like, than what I would technically need, but, like, also, it doesn't look like I'm just, like, wearing, like, clown makeup.
No,
like,
we are very natural people.
Yeah, and that's my thing about makeup for me. I know some people are like, you know, oh, when I do makeup, I spread it like all down my neck and stuff. I'm like, if you have to put makeup all the way down your neck, you're picking the wrong kinds of makeup. If it can blend into my like kind of like where my jawline is.
Yeah, like I'll do like under my chin, like
I'll
to
do
blend it out more.
Yeah, I'll do a little bit under my chin to like blend it into there so it looks, but like I don't do like the entire under of my chin. Like it just kind of follows my jawline to like just blend it out to make it like seamless.
No, I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy. I don't care enough about beauty. I prefer not to care about beauty standards. Let me preface that.
Yeah, and like that's the thing, like for us I feel like we do more, I want to say like timeless makeups. Like we don't follow the like, oh, you need to contour to high heaven.
No. I did that once.
We need to do this, that, and the other thing. Like,
I did that when I cared in high school, and Aria can attest. I have a very small nose. I also have our father's nose, which slants upward.
Mm-hmm.
And I got dragged into the female beauty YouTube sphere for teenagers. And like I saw contouring of the nose. I tried it. It made my nose look almost non-existent. And so I was like, I am never touching any of this again.
Yeah. As long as I feel decent, like that's all I really want out of my makeup. And like that has changed over time. Like there was a time when I used like eyeshadow a lot. I think it was Origin that made it, and I don't know if they still do.
Yeah, that was your first one.
But no, my first one was Clinique.
Oh, that's right.
And we're not sponsored by any of these brands, by the way.
Not.
These are just what we've used in the past. But when I was using Origin, they had like an eyeshadow stick that essentially I could kind of like rub my finger on it and then kind of paint my eyelid with that shadow. And I really liked that at the time. But it got to the point where I was just like, you can't see it because my eyes are like
You have crappy eyelids?
the one where it like hides. Like you can't see it. I think it's hooded.
Your eyelids are stupid.
Yeah, my eyelids are... Belle hates my eyelids.
I do. I also hate your Cupid's bow. That's the one thing. If we have fancier events or it's like Christmas or something and we're going somewhere, Aria will have me do some of her makeup.
Yeah, not all.
Not all, but some. So like I'll put on her like lipstick because she does love really darker colors. So like I'll like do her lips, and sometimes I'll have to do a liner for her, and I hate hate it. I will complain every single time. It always starts with I hate your eyelids, and then I'll get her bottom lip, and I'll start up the top. I hate your Cupid's bow.
Yeah. So essentially, like when my eye is open, you cannot see my eyelid at all.
No.
It just kind of hides. So for me, I feel like doing eyeshadow is just a waste of like time and money, essentially, because you're not going to see it.
I'm too lazy. That's another thing. Compared to the two of us, I have gotten very lazy very quickly.
Yeah.
You stuck into the I need to look nice and presentable a lot longer than I did.
Yeah. Whereas, well, and like my normal thing is that I don't wear, even though I'm pale, I don't wear blush. I hate blush.
But you have warmer undertones.
Well, and the other thing too,
You are not as pale as me. Don't try it.
The other thing too, though, is that I like the quote unquote like vampire looking.
She likes looking
looks.
like she's dead.
No, I like looking like I like the look of someone who has like really
Morticia?
pale. Yeah, like Morticia Adams. I love her look. Someone who has like dark hair, really pale like skin, with maybe a little bit of eye something going on, like not a lot, just a little, with like a really like dark lip. Like I think that looks really, really pretty. That's just personally what I like. And so a lot of times my makeup does follow that. I will do a kind of even out my skin, do a little bit of mascara because you can see that. If I feel like it, I'll want to do a little bit of like eyeliner, like on my waterline, because that's really the only place I like putting eyeliner, and then just the lipstick. Occasionally, every so often, like I don't mind a bronzer because I feel like that doesn't look quite as weird. Like for me, I feel like my skin has a lot of like redness to it sometimes. And so for me to like kind of cover all that up and then put redness back on with a blush or like pinkness or something, I just don't like that. So I prefer a bronzer that's more of like a, like kind of like a shimmer in a way. Like it gives a little bit of color without being overwhelming.
I had to start doing.
Yeah. So yeah,
Highlighter, I had to start doing.
Oh
recently.
yeah, you had done highlighter.
Well, recently I've gotten highlighter. There's a thing with my contacts. I am very small and I am very pale. And even though now Aria and I have the same contacts, they're the same color and everything. Different prescription, different eye shape, but like same color. I look like a doll and they come off black. Mm-hmm. They are not black, but they will come off black against my dark brown eyes. And so like people get freaked out. So like we are always constantly asking makeup people, I want to do the minimal amount of work possible, but like I have this issue, help me fix it. And props to makeup people, like sometimes they're like, oh sweetie, it's not that bad. No, it's bad. I know it's bad. You do not have to tell me it's not bad. Yeah. Or like the ones we got, I think it's so cool, just embrace it. I'm like, I'm trying, but when people are afraid to shake my hand, yeah, we gotta fix something.
Yeah, and like that was when I had my red ones, like how I said I did the green eyeliner. It was, in my head, it was kind of like, well, to kind of mitigate how like red the contacts looked. And that's another reason, too, why I really started getting into the darker lipsticks and really liking those. Because for me, it drew attention away from the eye. Like if the lip was kind of the focal point of my makeup look, it would draw a little bit of attention, or that wouldn't be like the first thing that you notice.
Yeah.
But again, that's just me. That's the look that I like. And I mean, it might change. Who knows? Like I feel like when I was younger, I definitely had more of a, I want to say like boho kind of look, makeup look.
We both went through that phase.
Yeah, where it was, it's not really hippie, so to say, but it's like hippie adjacent. Like it was kind of like a lot of like colors and like a lot of that kind of stuff. And it was nice at the time because, you know, had our mom, around who could be like,
Had
oh,
time.
and had some time to be like, oh, this looks good here and this is what you like here and blah, 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 blah. But now it's definitely more neutral things that we do a lot more often.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to before. Like I said, again, I still like the dark lips. So for me, I don't really care what else I'm wearing. For me, it doesn't matter like if my lipstick like matches my outfit or like looks good with my outfit. Typically, I will just kind of pick a lipstick and I will be like, this is the one I want to wear. Doesn't matter what else I'm wearing. This is the lipstick I'm going to wear. And like, I have a lot of lipstick though. But again, that is my favorite makeup product. And because I don't do like all the stuff with the eyes, I feel like that's kind of why like that's become my favorite, because it's the one thing that I can really change up and like do stuff with and play with. And I like being able to do that. I think it makes things fun and interesting, but that's just me.
I grew out of caring a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, nowadays we're lucky if I do my skincare routine.
Yeah, but you don't leave the house. I will admit that. I do my skincare routine, but that is me time that I take very aggressively.
Yeah.
Because
I'm trying. I'm
life
getting
is
better.
difficult for me with school. So, like, I need me time. That's me time. Also, I do not want to go back on the medicine I was on for my acne.
Yeah.
So, no.
Yeah, no.
That already messed up my skin.
Yeah, for me, I didn't have nearly as bad of acne as Belle did.
No. Can I go into that just like real quick?
Sure.
Oh my gosh. Acne sucks. I was put on like 15 different serums and creams and crap from dermatologists. I kept getting switched for like facial cleansers and like all that stuff. Nothing freaking worked.
Yeah.
And then the doctor was finally like, well, here's this government grade drug. I have to take tests monthly. If you know of this drug, you know what I mean. It like pretty much took away my first 2 layers of skin. Like, it was bad. It was horrible. Like, I don't recommend that. It was lovely because now my acne is nowhere even near what it was.
Yeah.
And like, it hasn't been for years. However, if you are female, that is a last resort. Because, like, you gotta take pregnancy tests all the time. And last resort.
Yeah.
You have to do blood tests because it messes with your liver levels. And
yeah, it's a time.
Monthly.
It's a time. And, like, honestly...
You're in the sun, your skin burns, like, is actually melting off your body.
Yeah, and, like, honestly, I'm definitely very lucky in that regard. I totally get that. Because mine wasn't nearly as bad as yours. I feel like I got off pretty lucky.
You did.
Well, because the other thing, too, is that it really wasn't on my face. It was on...
everywhere.
It was more on my back and my chest.
No,
and, like, honestly, if you're gonna have acne, like, those are the places to have it. Because you can cover that up with some t-shirts.
Yeah, no, for me, it was my face, it was my chest, and it was, like, my back and shoulders and stuff. And, like, to the point now where, like, I am really insecure about, like, showing off my shoulders and arms because of my scarring. Like, it's bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, everybody has their different things. As for, like, how we do makeup,
the best way to describe it is just feeling.
Yeah, it really is. I can do my makeup, my everyday makeup, without a mirror. Because I can just kind of feel my way through it.
Yeah.
Pretty much it's for like, if you use a primer, for that, you don't really have to like blend it or anything. You just kind of have to get it on there and just kind of rub it in some. So like, that's easy. Foundation, for that one, it's the same thing. It's the same kind of deal. You just have to be a little bit more careful with it. And just like, again, for me, going along like my jawline to like make sure that that's kind of blended in, going like on my nose, like in the kind of like the sides of your nose, like that. I don't know what that's called, but
crevices.
Yeah, the crevices of your nose. Just making sure that that's like blended in there. Concealer, I mean, for me, there are several spots that I know are like more problem spots. that being like my under eyes, and then I have like a little like mole like above my lip that I cover that up. Mascara I blink on. I know a lot of girls just have like the wand and they just kind of sit there and like look up and, you know, just kind of drag it on. For me, it's a lot easier to just blink it because I feel like I have a lot more control in that regard.
I was a blinker for the longest time.
Yeah, I can't do it the other way.
I am now not a blinker.
Liner is tricky, and that's
why you just give it to me.
Well, and that's why I like going in the waterline, because the waterline, I feel like I can feel that out a lot better than I can like falling along my lash line. Like falling along my lash line, like for my upper, it's just impossible. Like I cannot draw that straight of a line. I do not have that skill.
Small little strokes.
I don't have that skill. Blush, again, it's kind of like when you smile and like finding like where your cheek puffs up and then just kind of putting a little bit there. I don't contour, so I can't really answer for that. Again,
too much work.
Our makeup is very simplistic, and honestly, I prefer it that way.
Heck, our hair is even simpler.
Yes. And then lipstick, just painting, you know, where it goes, and then taking a finger afterwards, and then just kind of like going along the outside just to like kind of see if anything came out of like the lip lines. And then a lot of times just checking in, like really either looking in the mirror and going to like somebody else and just being like, hey, do you see anything glaringly wrong? But 9 times out of 10, though, like I feel pretty confident in the job that I do. If I don't ask somebody, it's not the end of the world. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, very simple makeup. And I prefer it that way because ain't nobody got time for that. I mean, for all of those who are more beauty minded, who have visual impairments, I applaud you.
I really applaud you.
Because it's just not me.
No, it isn't me. I have to admit, though, I gotta love my friends, man. Because, like, even for prom and stuff where, like, I had makeup, and it was, like, one of the few times I, like, had makeup on when I was around my friends. Let me also preface, I was friends with a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
They were so sweet, especially the one. Shout out to him if he ever listens to this. He'll know who he is. He was so sweet. He would help me all the time with my lipstick, or like me and my friend who was female, we'd like go, we'd reapply and we'd come back and he'd like pull my chin and double check it for me. He's like, no, you're good. And I was just like, this is why you're my best friend.
Yeah.
Like, he knows nothing, like literally nothing. And he was just like, nope, you look okay. Cause I'd always ask, or like every day at school, he'd check my mascara that it wasn't like under my lid and stuff. So sweet. Sometimes.
So yeah, I'm trying to think what other makeup things. I mean, again, we're not big makeup girlies.
No, we're also not big hair people.
No, not at all.
Whenever I had long hair, I literally had it in a low ponytail, braided, or in a high bun.
Yeah.
Like, those were what it was in. I hated it down. Nowadays, I wear, like, a bob-ish, a longer bob. And Aria just does a pixie, and that's it. Like,
well, see, but I'm trying to grow mine out. We'll see how long it lasts.
You're going to go home and you're going to get it cut. I know it.
Nah, I'm going to try to let it grow. It's just doing its own thing. We let it do its own thing.
Again, the only time I mess with my hair is if I have something important. Only reason I do that is I'm the one of us who inherited our father's curl. Didn't know we had it until I got it.
I have waves.
You have waves, but my curls don't listen to anyone.
I have waves, and we let my waves do whatever my waves want to do.
Yeah, but your waves fall nicely. My curl is like, some days it's going to be like, I'm going to play kind of nice, and then other days, I'm going to attack your head. We did not even know I had, like, our family had curls until I hit puberty.
Mm-hmm.
And my hair got curly, and we're like, where the heck did this come from? And my dad's like, oh, me. Sir, you have no hair. What do you mean you?
Yeah, no, mine is wavy. And that's why I kind of want to try to grow it out again, because I do miss having like a little bit of a longer like wavy hair.
It's getting too long. I can't.
Yours is?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Mine is it's getting there. It's a lot more floofy because I've been trying to let it grow out, and it's a time, but we let it do what it wants. We don't question the hair.
No, we don't.
That's it. My thing has always been my thing with hair, though, is like my mom all the time would be like, what is your hair doing? And I'm like, I don't know. We don't question it. We don't force my hair to do anything it doesn't want to do too often. And in return, 9 times out of 10, it will be okay. It won't look
Again, better than mine.
So, yeah, I think that about sums it up for this, though. I mean, let us know if you are a blind person who's really big into makeup and has other things that you do as opposed to what we do. Well, that being said, we want to thank you guys for coming along today as we talked about makeup, our history with it, our routines, that kind of thing. If you like this episode, if you like what you've been listening to, please consider following the podcast and sharing the episode with your friends. It really would help us to grow the show, and we would appreciate the support those actions would give. Now, what are we going to be talking about next time?
Day in the life.
All right. Well, that being said, don't forget that it's a blind life, and we'll see you guys next time.